I am 92 years old, and I have been living alone for 18 years. When my wife Ruth died, everyone worried about me. Even my doctor hinted at it. "George, living alone at this age will break you," he said. My neighbors started knocking on my door more often. My children called almost every week saying the same thing. "Dad, this house is too big for you. Move closer to us." Everyone acted as if there were a dark hole waiting for me, as if being alone meant I would slowly disappear. But it has been 18 years now. I didn't move. I didn't completely change my life. I didn't start a new life. I didn't sit at crowded dinner tables every day. And today, at this age, I can say this with a calm heart. I am fine. I am truly fine. Some days I even think this is the most peaceful period of my life. I am not lonely. In fact, I haven't felt lonely in a very long time, and I know there are many people like me. People who are at peace when they are alone, but who feel like something is wrong with them because the world keeps saying, "You should want more people around." For years, people asked me, "Don't you ever feel lonely?" At first, I struggled to answer, because when I said I didn't feel lonely, people looked at me with pity, as if I were in denial, as if I were suppressing something. So I wanted to share what I've learned. 5 things for living alone without feeling lonely. I don't want to call them tips, because everyone's life is different. But maybe they will make someone's invisible burden a little lighter. The first and most important thing is this: being alone and being lonely are not the same thing, not even close. A person can live alone and be perfectly at peace. A person can live in a crowded house and quietly fall apart inside. I have seen both. When I was young, living in a big house full of children's voices, there were days I felt completely alone. Now I spend most of my days by myself, and my heart feels calm. Loneliness is not about distance. It is about connection. It's about whether you feel truly seen, understood, and valued. You can get that from one person you talk to once a week. You can miss it entirely in a room with 100 people. So the real question is not, am I alone too much? The real question is, do I have a connection that truly matters to me? Those are 2 different things, and people constantly confuse them. I talk to my son David every Saturday. Sometimes we talk about the weather. Sometimes he tells me what the grandchildren did at school. Sometimes we just stay quiet and listen to each other breathe on the phone. It usually lasts 20 minutes, sometimes half an hour. That's enough for me, because when I hang up, there is a warmth left inside me. Some people need to talk every day. Some people can't go without texting. That's fine, but don't assume you need the same thing just because everyone else seems to want it. Figure out what you actually need. Most people need far less than they think, but realizing that takes courage. The second thing is building a routine. When you live with other people, life naturally falls into a rhythm. Meal times, conversations, days shaped around someone else's schedule. When you live alone, if you don't create that rhythm yourself, the days blur together, hours pass, days lose their shape. I wake up every morning at 6:45. I don't use an alarm. My body is used to it now. I make my coffee, the same mug, the same coffee, the same chair in the kitchen. I sit by the window that looks out onto the backyard and watch the trees for about 20 minutes. I notice how the wind moves the leaves, which bird arrives first. Then I read the newspaper. Then I have breakfast. It might sound boring, but it isn't. It gives me the feeling that today is a real day, and it has a shape to it. When Ruth was alive, we always ate dinner at 6 because that's when she got hungry. After she died, I realized I wasn't even hungry until 7 most nights. So I changed it. At first it felt strange. Then it started to feel like freedom, finding my own rhythm instead of living by someone else's. If you live alone, that's your right. That isn't loneliness. That's liberty. The third thing is having something that needs you. For me, it's my dog Henry, an old golden retriever. The fur around his eyes has turned white now. He expects his walk at exactly 7:30 every morning. If I'm late, he sits by the door and looks at me. He never barks, but that look says everything, as if he's saying, I'm here, and I trust you. It doesn't have to be a pet. It can be plants, a garden, birds you feed, something alive that depends on you showing up. This gives you a reason to get out of bed even on the days you don't feel like it. And yes, there will be days you don't feel like it. I also keep a notebook for the birds in my backyard. Every bird that comes to the feeder, I write it down. The date, the time, the species, how many. Sometimes I show it to my grandchildren when they visit. It might seem silly, but it gives me something to look for, something to notice. When you live alone, you need things to pay attention to. Otherwise, the world becomes too quiet, and you get lost inside your own head. The fourth thing is being selective about people. When you live alone, your social energy is limited. You can't spend it on people who drain you. I have 3 close friends. Tom, my childhood friend. We've known each other for 70 years. We tell each other the same stories now, and neither of us cares. Frank, from my old workplace. We have coffee once a month. And my neighbor Bill, who also lives alone. Sometimes in the afternoon he knocks on my door and says, "Want to take a walk?" That's it. 3 people I actually want to talk to. 3 people who actually know me. That's worth more than 20 acquaintances I have to perform for. I used to feel guilty about this, like I should want more friends, more activities, more socializing. But then I learned this. It's not about quantity, it's about quality. 1 real conversation is worth 10 polite ones. 1 friend who truly knows you is worth 20 who just know your name. The last thing, and the hardest one, is making peace with yourself. Because when you live alone, you are with yourself all the time. If you can't stand your own company, living alone will be miserable. If you enjoy your own company, it can be wonderful. This took me a very long time. For years, I thought I was too quiet, too boring, too much of a homebody. I looked at outgoing people and thought I was doing life wrong. I wasn't. I was just doing life differently. And different is not wrong. I like reading. I like my morning coffee. I like walking my dog. I like going to bed early. I don't like parties. I don't like small talk. I don't like being busy just for the sake of being busy. And at 92, I finally stopped apologizing for any of that. I miss Ruth. 52 years is a long time. The empty chair at the table never really stops being empty. Sometimes I still set 2 plates. Then I notice and put 1 away. But missing someone is not the same as being lonely. I carry her with me. I think about her every day, and I still have a full life without her. A different life, but not an empty one. My children think I'm isolated. I understand why. But I'm not isolated. I'm just quiet. Some people are built for crowds. Some are built for silence. I was built for silence. Maybe you are too. And if you are, I want you to know this. There is nothing wrong with you. You are not broken. You are not missing something everyone else has. You are just wired differently. And silence, if you allow it, can be a very beautiful life. 5 things. Know the difference between being alone and being lonely. Build a routine. Have something that needs you. Choose your people carefully. And make peace with yourself. That's all from me. Now I need to take Henry for his walk. He's sitting by the door, looking at me as if he's saying, "You've talked enough."